This is the state of the gutter at 145 Prospect Drive, 2 days before a major storm that has been predicted for over a week. That's intended to drop 3 to 6 inches of rain in the area. As you can see, the drain is completely clogged. I've raked it into small piles so that the city can easily pick it up if they decide to show up after cleaning all the other drains in the city. Both the inside of the gutter and the outside of the gutter have been swept because the water doesn't make it entirely through these two drains and instead decides to come around this corner where you can see there's still plenty more leaves. Once again, the drain at 145 Prospect Drive is clogged up. This is the day after we spent many hours clearing leaves and pleading with the city to remove the debris from the upstream drainage as well as our own drainage, which we took at our own expense. As you can see, the drainage ditch is completely overflowing and has been for some time, the result of which is a massive amount of water flowing across the street. Doesn't look like much because it's very wide on video, but you can see it collecting on the curb over by the garbage cans on the downhill side, flowing along the frontage of the house, along the curb and the berms that we've built to protect the house from major floodage incurring onto the property. You can see just here in front of the planter box where we've built up this curb in front of our driveway that the water is actually breaching. That's more than a 6-inch curb that's very difficult to drive over. You can see the width of this water at this point here, mid-driveway, is wider than my stance by a considerable amount. I'm 6 feet tall. As we walk down here past the driveway, you can see the water widens out into this gully here, which is actually a parking spot, under which there are two very large drains to carry overflow water down the hill that are primarily emergency drains that are only used in this situation in order to divert water from causing even more damage. That water is going down the hill more or less unprotected. Going down the hill there as it's completely overwhelmed the drains that are on either side of this tree, which have very large ditches in them and were actually cleaned out just yesterday prior to this storm. You can see the water continues up the street on this side. The drain is functioning. It's not as if it's completely blocked, as the city sometimes likes to claim. The water is flowing down from the uphill side of the neighbor's property here as well, but it's combining here on the end of this curb with water that's coming out of the drain. So clearly the drain is working. It is not completely clogged. It may have some kind of obstruction in it again, but as you can see here, water is flowing at quite a rapid rate, both on the outside of the drain and the actual drain itself in this gully culvert that's been built. The water in that drain is up at least 4 to 6 inches from the bottom of the drain, and this is the exit side of the drain from the side of the drainage ditch that appears to be completely blocked on the uphill side. As you can see here, the water is pretty much not moving at all. There's very little movement here as it attempts to enter the drain, which is completely blocked up with leaves and other debris, so only some is getting through. The debris is being dropped by this oak tree and also carried from upstream, from up the hill, as this drainage ditch is responsible for draining many acres of uphill land. As you can see, the leaves all packed up on the berm here. At some point a while ago, the city came and they added about an inch to the berm. Clearly that's not effective. As you can see, all the water coming across Prospect Drive, going to the downhill side. And in fact, in this one particular location, which is the low point of the berm, you can see literally a torrent of water coming over the side of this berm. Completely ineffective, and all of the water being diverted to the downhill side of Prospect Drive at 146 Prospect. As we walk up the street, you can see that the uphill side is carrying a lot of water through double pipe as opposed to the lower section, which only has a single pipe. The lower pipe is not moving a whole lot of water through it. The upper pipe is moving a lot. Some runoff from the driveways at 145 is also coming down and hitting the street and running around the pipes entirely and into the system. You can see here uphill of 145 Prospect, there's a much wider gully, much deeper, with very fast moving water as it drains from the uphill side and into a much smaller gully. This is the major pipe that carries water from the uphill side of Santa Fe Hill. As you can see, all of the water floods downhill towards Prospect Drive. There's no other direction for the water to go. That includes uphill of our location now, which is 136 Prospect Drive. If we walk up from this pipe, you can see that the water is actually coming down the hill on this property. From a major open stream and a gully that's been here for a very long time. You can see it run up from up the hill. All of this unprotected water comes directly down the hill, carrying all the leaves, silt, and debris from the hillside, and bringing it directly down to 146 Prospect Drive.
This is the new drain they put in across the street, the driveway at 146 Prospect Drive. Excuse me, this drain is at 145, and you see this new grill they put in, how it's catching all the leaves and damming up the drain? Well, this is a